Most teams in HubSpot waste a ton of time scrolling through cluttered sidebars, or even worse, they can't find the information that they're looking for. My name is Jasper, I'm a certified HubSpot consultant, and in this video, we're gonna solve that problem. If this is a video that you've been waiting for, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more HubSpot excellence. So, what is the problem exactly that we're trying to solve today? By default, every contact, every deal, every company has a default view in HubSpot. This is something that if you do not change it, will look the same in every single HubSpot that you open, but it might not always be the best way to look at HubSpot data for your company or your team. And especially when you're working with multiple teams, you're making good use of the lifecycle stages that a contact can go through. Maybe you have different pipelines to manage your deals. It's very important that we show the right information at the right time. This way, your sales reps will not be wasting their time looking for the right properties, or even worse, forgetting to update properties because they're just not shown. Let me show my screen and I'll show you how we're fixing this. So right now I'm looking at the contact overview in HubSpot. And when we go to a specific contact, this is the view that we're gonna customize. So right here you can see on the right hand side at the top, we have customize. If we click that, we'll see our different views that we can customize. But just in case that button is not shown there for you, since this did just start showing up a couple of days ago, the other way to get there is just to go to settings. Here it's in the top bar, then navigate to objects and contacts, and then here we'll go to record customization. Here you will see the default view, and if your team did not create any custom views, this will be the only one that's shown here. Now when we click on default view, we'll see everything that's shown on a contact record. So on the left hand side, this means we'll see all of the different properties that are part of a contact record. Then in the middle, we can see all of the different cards that we want to show in the overview tab. And on the right hand side, we'll see all of the cards related to associated records to the record that we're viewing. So for example, if we're looking at a certain contact, it will show the associated deals to that contact. Now, let's start on the left-hand side here. And to be fair, this is like the second take that I'm doing here and already created these, but let's just remove these for a second and pretend they were not there. So when we look at the left-hand side here, we'll click on Add Cards, and then we're going to click on Create Cards. We'll just get property list here, and then let's say we want to show lead information. Now, the different things that we want to show for leads is we do want to see their lifecycle stage, which is going to be lead at that point. We do also want to see the cumulative time that they spent in that lifecycle stage leads. We want to see the date that they entered that lifecycle stage. Then we also want to see things that are more marketing related, like for example, the number of marketing emails that have been delivered, the number of marketing emails that they clicked on. And I also want to see the last marketing email sent date and reply date. And let's also do the click date here as well. Maybe the email name would also be helpful. Let's move this a little bit around here. Okay, that makes more sense. We first have the last email name, and then we're looking at the send date, reply date, and click date. Let's see if there's anything else relevant that we want to add here. So let's also have a look at the last engagement date. That will also be relevant here. And I think that that's actually something that we want to show more towards the top. So let's just leave it like this for now. These are all properties that are highly relevant for any leads. Then when we go to conditional display logic here, we'll look for lifecycle stage. And we're going to say that we want to show this only for leads. Here on the right hand side, you also have the option to preview this for any of the contacts in your system. So we can check what it will look like for those contacts. And then we can just go ahead and save this. Put it in a spot where we would like to see this, so we can actually move this above about this contact, which is the default one as well. But usually about this contact is the one shown at the top. And then you can also customize the about this contact. So if you click the pencil icon here, these are all of the properties that are shown on every single contact basically. By default, any user in your HubSpot has the permission to update the properties in that card as they wish, but you can also turn that off if you want this to be the same for everyone. Now when we go to the right hand side here, This by default will show all of the different association objects that are available within HubSpot. But let's say, for example, your team does not use HubSpot for tickets, although they probably should because it gives you a better overview of your contacts. But let's say if that's not the case, you can remove that card as well so that only the relevant information will be shown. Another great example would be when you're not really keeping track of payments in HubSpot, which is also a great new feature. You can also remove that section. Maybe you're not really working with the contact create attribution. You could remove that as well, and so on. Then you can also add different cards here. So in my first take for this video, I already added the Breeze record summary, but let's do that again. So we go to add cards. You see that we have a bunch of different options here. And within the standard ones, there are two cards in particular that I really like here. And that's the Breeze record summary as well as the health score. On top of that, you also have a bunch of apps that have cards available to show you the right information from that specific app right in HubSpot so that you do not need to change systems all the time. If you have a quick look here, these are apps like PandaDoc, something that I use myself, Fathom Note Taker. We have Shopify, Microsoft Dynamics, NetSuite. There's a bunch of interesting apps here that are used by a lot of companies. So when we add these, they will be added at the bottom by default, and then we can move these cards all the way to the top. We'll do the same for the health score. So we'll add that here at the top as well. And then let's say that by default, you want to have the deals more towards the top instead of the lead stage tracker. You can change that as well. And then we can just save this view. And now the default view is updated for everyone. Now, next, we also have the option to create a completely customized view for a team. I'm just going to show you how you can do that because all of the other steps will be exactly the same. So you just click on create team view. Let's say we're going to name this sales team view. And then you can assign the teams that will use this view. So in this case, sales team. You customize this exactly how you would like it for your sales team. So let's say deals becomes really like top of mind here. So we want that all the way at the top. We save and exit, and now we have a separate view specifically for our sales team. Now, if I can give you a couple of tips before we wrap up this video, always make sure to test these different views by going to different contacts in your HubSpot and see how everything looks. Also try it out with different team members to see that the team views are working properly. And of course, ask your team for feedback and ask them if the new views that you created are actually making their job easier. When you set up these views, you will get clean, role-specific sidebars in HubSpot that will save time and reduce error. If you have tried these out, let me know in the comments below and subscribe for more HubSpot excellence. If you want to make your team even more productive, watch this video right here on how to automatically enroll contacts into sales sequences. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.